Welcome to the Orange Flag Podcast, and we are continuing the saga of Mathieu Jaminet and his hatred of American food. I'm Austin.
I'm Aries.
I'm Nicole. IMSA, how are you gonna do like a cheese or fromage challenge without the French guy involved? Jam, did you not want to do the cheese challenge? Do you not like cheese?
I think he's made it very clear he seems to just not like American cuisine, and maybe that's what it was. So, in place of an actual Frenchie, they were like, I guess we'll go get the Canadian? Like, I guess that's our closest bet? So they got Roman DeAngelis, who did speak French in the episodes, so there you go. And he did proclaim, when it comes to cheese, I'm French. So
Yeah. This does not bode well for our bring jam to Chili's endeavors. Because we could try to make him eat some mozzarella sticks as part of the triple dipper, but I don't know that he'd be down for that. So Chili's is
It's not looking that likely.
It's not looking very likely. It's very low on the totem pole. But
we still don't know that Jam is even going to be at Coda, because once again, just like last week, PPM has not given us the Coda lineups yet. PPM, please give us the Coda lineups. We will keep asking for this until you do.
And once again, Dana needs them to be able to make our shirts. So
yes.
It's important info.
Yes.
Please.
Please and thank you. But going from a Canadian driver to a Canadian team, PAF, PFAF, you know, PFAF, however you want to say it, because we say it about 30 gazillion ways for fun on this lovely here podcast. If you didn't hear about it, they were involved in a crash in the second practice that led them to say RIP to their car and go over to Forte and be like, can we have your car? Possibly, please, thank you. And they did in fact get the backup chassis from Forte that they built in 15 hours to be up to regulations, and Bonnie was born, and Bonnie did compete.
Yes.
Did they get a lot of penalties? Yes, but
I feel like this weekend was who wasn't involved in some sort of shenaniganry. But to me, even wilder than the fact that they managed to get the car up to speed and get it running, and it didn't even look like a borrowed car. Was that right after the race ended, they had to like undo everything and just, yeah, here's your car back. Take your car. We're done. And they did it. So that's quite the effort, and I commend them for it.
Yes, and also, just class act by Forte, and all of Lambo coming together, because also Wayne Taylor Racing did supply apparently some parts as well to the team.
Not the Cadillacs.
Not the Cadillacs, in case you forgot.
The internet was confused. Wayne Taylor has a Lamborghini. It's shiny and silver like one of the Cadillacs, but it is, in fact, a Lamborghini.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not a Cadillac.
Very much so.
No.
And that is the one they got parts from. So it's nice to see the whole kind of Lambo family come together to support each other and getting the 9 back on track. It was almost ready in time for qualifying, but not quite ready. And they were even still working on it like before the race. Like the broadcast was on and they were still working on it. So crazy.
The Lambo family. We had a funeral earlier today for a member of the Lambo family, and that is, or was, the SC63, because we learned today that they're effectively pausing the program, which to me feels like another way of saying, but yeah, we're not gonna bother with this anymore, so we're just gonna say we put it on pause, and then we'll never touch the car again.
Yeah, our friends at Random Whack Memes held a funeral, for the SC63. And it was a bit more of a roast than a funeral. We also got extremely off track. We somehow ended up talking about the Target Chip Ganassi racing cars, which have
That doesn't
nothing to do
surprise
with
me.
Lamborghini.
Well, the Lambo has some red. Those cars are red. Maybe that's how.
Maybe.
Right?
But one thing that it got me thinking about is if Lambo come back in 2027, since they've gone on a pause, what team could they come back with? The first one and the only, I think, realistic one on this list that came to mind was GRT, Grasser, who are running a very successful Lamborghini program over in Europe.
Yes.
They won Spa.
They did win Spa.
And also won this weekend again.
Don't remind me about Spa.
No, I was gonna say, I'm just gonna make Nick say that she doesn't want to see Jordan Pepper win because she's bored of him winning.
No, I am bored of Jordan Pepper winning. I will say that. I don't even dislike Jordan Pepper. He just, there's a lot of drivers that I don't dislike, but I don't support.
Jordan Pepper is kind of a driver for me that he's just there. I don't have anything against the dude.
He seems like a great person.
Yeah. He seems
he's
like
a
nice
very
guy.
good driver. He just doesn't drive for Porsche. So, and he's not Renger, because Renger's my exception to drives for Porsche.
Yeah, he's been a bit of a spicy pepper lately. Yes, I did just make that joke.
Good job.
As you should.
Expected. The next item, and this is where our list starts to get a bit off the hinges.
Silly.
We go to Poland and we get Jakub Śmiechowski to bring out the funds for a Lambo car. So, yay, bakery funded Lamborghini.
I don't know where
GTP.
he's getting that money, but let's go for it. Bread, yes.
From the bread.
From the bread.
We're gonna be selling a lot of bread.
Must fuel the Lamborghini.
With baguettes.
Bread!
Very Italian, also very Polish.
This is French!
That's what I'm saying. It's neither Polish or Italian.
The Italians have bread.
Yeah, but we're holding up baguettes. That's not Italian.
Could Ganassi change their mind entirely and not care about the factory funding for a program? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure Chip wants factory funding, and Lamborghini is not gonna provide that.
No.
Also, don't know that I want to see Scott Dixon subjected to the SC63.
Yeah, I've already had to see
Roman. Cruel.
Yeah, I've already had to see Roman Grosjean subjected to it, and that was harsh. I don't need Scott Dixon to also be subjected to it.
Yeah.
I think subjected is the right word.
For the same reason, AO Racing. No, Carl the Shark should not be a Lamborghini. Carl the Shark needs to be a 963 and only a 963. That is the only option I am accepting for Carl the Shark. Because I do not want to see my boy Lauren subjected to the SC63. I'm sorry, but you can't just keep throw in these scenarios my favorite drivers into such a horrible car.
Yeah. Now, our next ones are where it gets slightly back, at least to the Lambo family. Would it be me without saying Pafaf? I would kill for a GTP car that's plaid. Give it to me.
That livery.
Okay, but what about if PFAF goes back to Porsche and has a customer 963?
I'd prefer that, but of the likely options, it's gonna be a...
What if the rumors are true and Penske is going to leave IMSA, or at least leave Porsche in IMSA, and then we could get Cam Jam Plaid Car 963 in 2 years?
That's the dream. But
also, I'm just
I don't
picturing
think
Kevin
can
being
afford
subjected to all of this plaid crap that they've made Cam Jam wear in the past.
They're getting bucket hats. They're getting hockey jerseys. Sorry, Kevin.
Bucket hats and hockey jerseys for Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin, you're gonna have to get a nickname because the hockey jerseys, in fact, do say Jam Jam and Maddie on the back. So figure out your nickname of choice that you want. And then another Lambo. Wayne Taylor. Just, they get a Lambo.
I don't know what they're doing with their Cadillacs in this scenario.
I don't know either, but they get a Lambo.
Maybe they can just get rid of the Cadillac program that they have and give Cadillac to, a team I don't dislike.
They like jumping around because, they go from Acura and then Caddy. Maybe they'll jump again.
Maybe. Who could take over Caddy if they go to Lambo?
Anyone.
Good question. I love how
that's where Penske can go.
No, please no.
No.
God, no. Absolutely not.
But it's almost like a Chevy, and it's Penske, so we'll force you to like Penske again.
No.
Still.
No. This is torture for me. No, thank you. Absolutely.
Is that worse? Worse than Porsche Penske would be Cadillac Penske?
Well, I was about to say, Wayne Taylor Caddy is already torture enough.
It's way worse than Penske.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily, institutionally like Penske, but Roger seems like an okay person.
Yeah.
Wayne Taylor's not a good person.
So, I'm now trying to, weigh things, and I'm like, it would be better than what I currently have.
Would it?
But would it? You know what? In my head, Action Express, find a way.
Run 3 cars?
You're getting 3 cars now.
I mean, they used to have 2 cars, so maybe tradition.
Find a way, and you're getting 3 now. Sorry, but that's my only option.
Bring back Spirit of Daytona or something.
Yeah. And then, since IMSA was at Road America this week, something we've been discussing internally for a while about bringing up on the show, is the concept of Grade 1 alterations to historic American racetracks, because I feel like every time Formula One announces a new street circuit somewhere, people say, why doesn't F1 race at Watkins Glen, or Road America, or Road Atlanta? PPM,
Are you sure?
By the way, sidebar drinking game for sure. Road America and Road Atlanta are 2 different tracks. Someone tell Urs this, please.
Yes, someone tell Urs, because all I was thinking while I'm looking at the notes is PPM may not understand that Road Atlanta and Road America are in fact different tracks.
Laguna also gets brought up in this conversation. All of those tracks would be absolutely ruined by the required changes for Grade 1 alterations. to meet FIA Grade 1 status, which is what you need to host a Formula 1 race, those tracks would be absolutely destroyed. Everything that makes us love those tracks would be taken away. There's a reason that Formula 1 tracks, like, with kind of, I guess, the exception of, like, Spa, don't have character.
Harsh, but true.
It's
They're
flat
very
out fact,
sanitized.
though. Yeah.
It's
just
because
saying,
they have to be sanitized.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, if you touch Sebring, I will find you.
Oh, Sebring wouldn't be Sebring if they
Exactly.
Grade
You'd
1ified it.
You'd have to
Because
rename
the
it.
surface is what makes it Sebring.
Exactly. No, don't touch it.
Honestly, everywhere that IMSA races, except for IMS, would lose so much track character because there aren't massive runoffs. There aren't, like, the track isn't super wide everywhere. So, like, some of the, I guess, like, specifications for Grade 1 are, like, the length of the track doesn't matter because, like, pretty much all these tracks meet, like, between 3.5 and 7 kilometers. The straights are all fine. They can't be longer than 2 kilometers. But, like, this is where we get into issues. 12 meters wide at all points. 15-meter wide starting grid. Acceptable barriers and runoff. None of the IMSA tracks except for IMS, which is Grade 1 already. The IMS road course is a Grade 1 FIA track. The acceptable barriers and runoff would absolutely destroy. They would pave over every one of these tracks. Like, they would all turn into just a ridiculous parking lot. Like, it'd be Miami, but, you know, in the middle of Georgia for Road Atlanta. Like, you know, it's
Are
just...
you sure it's not Road America?
Yeah. But, I mean, what's funny about it is that all of this is just subject to whether the FIA feels the changes should be made. Now, technically, a lot of those discretionary things are for street circuits, but technically they could just declare that something, we're giving you a waiver on the things that make you not Grade 1. They won't do that, though. So just
the way the FIA has been, obviously they wouldn't. But, you know, you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say, like, I did a bit of fooling around on the internet, and I stumbled upon a Reddit thread. Someone did a concept of Road America. If it were to be converted to, or should I say, subjected to the process of being turned into a Grade 1 circuit, and I have to, at least in terms of, like, the track layout, it would stay the same. And, like, in terms of how wide the track is, it already meets the minimum, so that would be okay. I think in terms of runoff, a lot of it would be okay. The only thing that would be changed in regards to, like, racing lines and, like, the where the track goes is the kink. Like, you would need a chicane before the kink.
Yeah.
But pretty much F1 would be the only thing to use it. Because they cannot move the barriers, because there's a railway line. That's a fun fact I didn't know.
Yeah. Even just throwing a chicane before the kink would, anytime you have to repave a second line into a track, you alter the characteristics of they would have to do a full repave of the entire track again, which they just did one, so they're not going to do another one. That's the only way you can add something like a chicane. Like, I get it with removable curbs and stuff, you can absolutely add a little section of track, but it's just, honestly, I don't know that I think that the Carousel or Canada Corner have acceptable runoff for Formula 1. Like, what the FIA would declare acceptable runoff. Because you think about both of those corners, and the speed that the cars carry into it, and then the decrease of speed while cornering. If you lose it coming into that corner, you are going way too fast and you will be deep in the wall. Because F1 is going faster than either Indy or IMSA. And those cars in those corners already have bad wrecks, If you go off at either of those corners, it's bad. And I mean, look even at turn 5 this year in the IndyCar race. How many cars went off and how unable they were to stop until they were buried in the tire barriers. I was sitting at turn 5 in a golf cart, so I saw a ton of that. There's no way F1 would say that is acceptable runoff. Having been to permanent road course F1 tracks and seeing what the runoff is like there's no way they would pave over all of that so that because F1 hates having their cars skipping over gravel. Every other series wants their cars doing that because it slows them down because of, in general, the flat floors, right? Now, maybe next year when F1 goes back to flat floors, it would be different. But with ground effects, it causes the car to skip so much on gravel that it actually makes them travel further. Yeah. So that's... Now, I don't know that that's 100% true. I did some research online as well, and that's what I read about the biggest issue with any of the American tracks is the amount of gravel runoff as opposed to paved runoff. And I'm sorry, but you can't pave over all of the gravel and all of the classic American circuits.
Nope. That would be destruction, not an upgrade.
Correct.
And then, like I kind of touched on earlier, the only current track that's being used for other things, like IMSA and IndyCar specifically, that I think F1 should even possibly consider going back to is Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course. They can use, if they really don't want to use the original F1 track road course, and they don't want to use the banking, they can use the IndyCar or MotoGP road course layout. The whole track is already homologated grade 1. So they could just go back there immediately. When it was potentially looking like... when it looked like Miami might be underwater, they were talking about potentially, if we really need to, we could run, because they wouldn't have to do anything to be able to run IMS. It is ready to go. It has F1 pits already. It is set up for Formula 1. I don't think that they'll do it. But also, we've got so many non-US grade 1 alternatives. The ones I initially came up with were Magny Cours and Paul Ricard.
Give me back France. Give me back France. I need a France track.
It seems really weird to not have a French Grand Prix.
It does.
Yeah.
The thing that also
something
just
feels incomplete.
It bugs me that we're trying to call Monaco the home race for all the French drivers, and I'm like, no.
It's really not.
It's not.
It's a whole separate country.
It's a whole separate country.
I will say,
stop?
Nick Tandy did claim that Le Mans was his home race this year. Because I guess it's the geographically closest race to his house. So by Nick Tandy standards, I guess that Monaco would be the home Grand Prix for the French Formula 1 drivers.
Okay,
the Nick
it just
Tandy
feels
standards
wrong.
for a home race.
Yeah. It feels wrong to just be having so many Frenchies on the grid right now, and we're just your home track is Monaco.
Right.
Because they speak French, and it's no, just stop.
And honestly, given how decent the race at the Hungaroring this past weekend was, that's everyone's criticism about both Magny Cours and Paul Ricard, is you can't past there. It's too Monaco-esque. Hungaroring is Monaco without the walls. So that gave us a pretty decent race this weekend. Bring back one of them.
Bring them back, please.
Also, hi, Germany has entered the chat. Hockenheim or the Nürburgring GP circuit? Give me one of those.
I miss the old the alternating arrangement, like even years in one track, odd years in another.
Give me a rotating European Grand Prix using all of these circuits. That way, like, maybe Zandvoort can come back. Spa can do its stupid rotation that it's going to do. We can use all 4 of these tracks.
Yes.
Like, that would be phenomenal. I would love that, and I bet most Formula One fans would love that idea.
Well, we're taking a bit of a detour towards the east. There's this amazing circuit known as Istanbul Park. So
yes.
They're looking to
Not
return to the calendar.
Constantinople.
I knew you would say this. I was bracing for it. They're looking to return to the calendar from 2026, maybe no, not 26, 27.
7 or 28, yeah.
Give me Istanbul back.
That would be fantastic. That's a great track.
Yeah.
It is.
I do like way back, to follow up on my They Might Be Giants joke. The US broadcast ran an intro to the race using that song, Istanbul, not Constantinople. It was great. We need whimsy in our F1 intros again.
Yes.
It's so sanitized now. Like, I don't want to just hear the dun-duns this isn't Law and Order. So, give me whimsical F1 intros again.
I don't know, at this rate, it could be Law and Order. They keep making so many versions of Law and Order. I wouldn't be surprised if we get Law and Order F1 edition.
That would be amazing.
And I have to say, whimsy does not having the F1 theme in the intro. I don't think that counts. It's just appealing to something. It's not whimsy. Like, surprise us.
Yes.
Give me something.
And then, I guess, unrelated, sorta, kinda, but not really, because we're doing imaginary F1 calendars, I guess. What countries could possibly host street circuits? Because, like, my sister, Kate, who has attended F1 races, but, like, not every year, is really excited about the Spanish street circuit. She has been on vacation to Spain before, loves the country, loves Barcelona as a city, and is like trying to convince my whole family we need to do a week's vacation around this street race in Spain.
Just really like Spain.
Well, I mean, it would be a cool trip.
It would be.
Yeah, she brought that up, and it's like, well, if F1 is going to... It's funny, because F1 and FE seem like they're switching, I guess, like, modus operandi, right?
Yeah.
F1 wants to go to these street circuits, and FE is trying to go to more permanent racetracks now. But it got me thinking, could France or Germany or, insert other European country here host a F1 street race? Pretty sure they all could. I would like to point out that France has a really good non-grade 1 eligible temporary street circuit.
Yeah.
The straights are a little too long to meet their no longer than 2 kilometer straight qualification, but they could waive that, perhaps.
France can do, a street circuit pretty well.
France does such a good temporary street circuit. They really do.
I love how I know what you're referring to, but I'm thinking of a different one.
That's what I'm saying, though. We've got options, guys. Like France, we've got options.
I want F1 to ignore their minimum length thing and give me Norisring Formula 1. Could the cars even do it? But I don't care. That is my favorite street circuit in existence.
Yeah.
Yes, I was thinking that. Like, brilliant.
Give me that track with F1 cars on it.
I don't care that the laps are going to be like 30 seconds, probably.
Don't care at all.
Doesn't matter.
That's such a good track.
It's simple, but it works.
Yeah.
DTM would be so upset if F1 came in and started running Norisring. Like, that is their thing. That is their Monaco, their Le Mans, their Indy 500. Like, that is the track for DTM.
You are not allowed here. Get out.
And then I guess we've talked so much about F1, even though that was technically the sports car segment. We'll move into the F1 conversation. I'm gonna keep saying this every week, and no, it's not PPM, please release the Dakota lineups. It's my other broken record that I'm gonna say. Ferrari ruins careers. Lewis is following in the footsteps of Alonso and Vettel. He will tarnish his legacy by being with this team. I said it last week, and I got torn apart, and now everyone online is saying it. Give me credit.
I will say this. It's not he will. In my opinion, it's he has.
Well, what the I'm useless comment at Hungary this week. What, like, that, if that's not a sort of, if he's not admitting that maybe making that switch was not the wisest move, then I don't know what that is.
Could his announcement this Friday be retirement?
Wouldn't surprise me.
He's got this big 8-8 announcement.
I think the internet would combust more than it usually does.
But
more than it did when he announced going to Ferrari.
It is the best thing for him and his legacy, would be like, hey, I tried. They're not operationally sound as a team. I am too far into my career to fix this team. I'm retiring. I got to do my season in red like I wanted to.
It wouldn't, like, of all the things for it to be, like, that's not the most out there thing, in my opinion.
It's probably a merch drop.
It's
literally probably a plus 44 merch drop, but it could be a retirement announcement.
The scenes of feed just pulls a Seb Vettel in.
Yeah.
Boom! I'm leaving. That's
very
enough.
Black and white video. No.
Yeah. At this point, just leave it. They're not gonna. I don't think that they're saving them. They're too far gone. And I say this as a fan of them.
So you are our resident Ferrari man.
Yes.
Also our resident Brazilian, which I know you want to talk about.
Yes. Well, the two things are kind of connected. But because, well, our F3 champion is part of the Ferrari Academy.
Yeah, I was about to say it is connected.
I don't know what that essentially means, but yes, I'm just gonna. Well, the streak remains alive. 2022 had Dragovic winning F2, and then Bortoleto won F3 in 23 and F2 last year, and now this year, Rafa Kamara is the Formula 3 champion. So, woohoo! We are really making our mark in the feeder series of this, and I hope this means we eventually take back what we lost. So yeah, everybody better watch out. We're coming.
Yeah. The only thing it made me think of was Effie posted their announcement, their photos with all the drivers who have like recently won the championship, and it was Prema, ART, tried it. So ART, it's your turn next year again, apparently.
Nice.
This one actually meant a bit more than the previous other titles. Cause like cause Rafa is like, he's out of the Rio Sao Paulo axis. Like he's from up here in the Northeast, so
Hey,
he's someone who's close to me. So
Nice.
I really hope he gets up there.
And then IndyCar. The crazy news that I don't think anybody saw coming.
No.
Fox taking a 1/3 ownership stake in Penske Entertainment. Yeah, so the thing with Fox is they may do something a little Liberty Media-esque, because they have said that they want to harness the star power of IndyCar drivers, which to me feels like they're going to do a Drive to Survive. I want the racing series that I like to grow, but I don't want the K-popification of racing that has happened in Formula One to happen across every other racing series. You know, it's why I have concerns about when Max Verstappen eventually comes to WEC, which will happen, how much of that F1 culture is going to follow him. It's why if there's a Drive to Survive style series, you know, 100 Days to Indy was a real-time documentary.
Yeah.
They could not create drama because they were recording it live at races and releasing it the next week. There was no, like, ability to create drama. The drama was the drama that existed. They can't take a radio message from the 7th race in the season and act like it was in the first race like Drive to Survive does. But my big concern about all of this is how Fox owning 1/3 of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is going to affect non-IndyCar races at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. IMSA is primarily broadcast on Peacock, which is NBC's streaming service, which is a competitor to Fox. NASCAR has a rotational broadcast, and right now, the part of the rotation that includes the Brickyard is not Fox's. Now, that's probably not that difficult of a change. You just flip-flop where the broadcast partners are. But is Fox going to want races that are not broadcast on their networks to be run on a track that they have 1/3 ownership in? I think they still will, because they're going to get 1/3 of the money of the people who attend the race. But it's a concern. If Fox looks at it and says, you know, we're not really making that much money off Battle on the Bricks, which, like, of all the IMSA races that could go away, it's probably the best one to possibly go away. But you know, the Brickyard cannot go anywhere. But again, Fox already does have a broadcast agreement with NASCAR. It's just about making Fox broadcast the Brickyard.
Yeah. It's definitely a concern, but of them, NASCAR is definitely the more likely where they'll be able to easily figure something out.
Yeah. Then in NASCAR, the kids tried to make a truck team.
Did they, though?
Maybe not.
No.
Brent Cruz is starting a truck team, and the initial report said that Connor Zilisch and Jesse Love Jr. were going to be involved on the executive board. Both of them later put out very canned statements that it was a misunderstanding. I've seen a few insiders say that it was a joke that reporters took seriously. Like, they were all talking about it, and it was kind of like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a whole bunch of kids running a team. I got Connor and Jesse on board. And it's like, I got Connor and Jesse on board as in they are supporting me as a friend. And reporters took that to mean Connor and Jesse were literally helping run the team. The statements certainly sounded like Chevy lawyers made them put out statements.
Yeah. If you pull up Jesse's statement next to Connor's, which is very easy to do because Jesse just quote tweeted Connor's statements, so made it very easy for you to pull them up next to each other. They do have overlap, so like it's pretty easy to tell that they had like people that wrote them together. But yeah, it's important to know that Brent's team for trucks is going to be a Toyota team. Jesse and Connor are both Chevy drivers, so obviously Chevy probably wasn't happy with them being associated with Toyota.
It sounded like they were like, hey, you two, come over here a moment. You're having too much fun with this. Now be civilized and remember who you're racing for. So, yeah. Enough.
Yeah.
That's
so
what
it
it
was
sounded
make
like.
sure Yeah, it was like make sure Chevy is in your announcement and the teams that you race for that are Chevy teams. But speaking of Connor, the day that it was announced, like the day we're recording this, is the day it was announced that Connor will be piloting the number 45 truck for Truck Series, because the current driver of the 45, Honeycutt, is stepping back. He's a whole situation, but basically he is going to be with another team. So Connor now has the chance to, at the Glen, which is arguably his strongest track, to go for the sweep. There's even been jokes from ARCA drivers being like, you want my ARCA seat for the weekend too? You can just do all 4 of them. So will we see a sweep? Who knows? Because he's doing Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup.
In the first episode of this show, we mentioned that we occasionally would talk about hockey. Today is one of those days. There was a baseball game at Bristol this past weekend, and NHL executives were there to explore the idea of doing hockey there. We all are like in agreement that this needs to be a Preds Canes game, right?
Yes.
So it'd be NAS versus Car.
Yeah.
On the scoring.
But also, if it is going to be Preds versus Canes, so like how we flew out Chase Elliott for the baseball game because it was the Braves, and we all know Chase is from Atlanta, we need to fly William Byron to the hockey game.
I think William Byron would go on his own. We don't need to fly William Byron. William Byron will be there. William Byron's dropping the puck.
Yes.
Like, let's
William
be
Byron
honest.
needs to be involved in this, okay? Is all I'm saying.
I just really like the idea of it saying NASCAR on the scoring thing. Like, that's so much fun. This is the whimsical crossover of sports that we need.
Okay, but do we really think that NASCAR would go through with it, considering how crazy everything kind of went for baseball this weekend? Because in case you didn't hear, how badly crazy everything went this baseball match that had to go across 2 days. They ran out of hot dog buns before it even started. I feel like hot dogs are, kind of a staple of a baseball game. It was apparently insanely understaffed, and then it was delayed because of the weather, but basically the field couldn't hold water at all. Ice is water, guys. And one of the issues we've had with like stadium series in the past has been like the ice melting pretty quickly.
Yeah, because they do these stadium series not in like a logical time of year. Like why are we playing outdoor hockey in the late spring?
Okay, but also next year we're not even doing it in a logical place, or next stadium series. because we're doing it in Florida.
Yeah, Florida is not a logical place to
I'm
try
sorry,
and
but
keep
no
ice
time of year is
outside.
it okay for hockey outside here.
Nope, that's wrong. The week of Daytona in the Panhandle was perfect hockey weather.
Okay,
Perfect hockey weather.
Nick,
Drove
this is in
through
Miami.
a blizzard. I
This
don't
is in
care.
Miami.
Still Florida. You said Florida. I know it's in Miami, but I'm
It's in
pointing
Miami
out that in
and
fact,
Tampa.
occasionally Florida does have hockey conditions because the roads were all ice. It would have been perfect for hockey.
Yeah, well, I'm saying in Tampa and Miami, which it's not really Miami, but we're saying Miami because I'm not getting into the silly specifics, okay? It's never hockey weather outside.
It's not.
Who thought that was a good idea?
And
they're gonna, if they do
hockey.
this, hands down, they're gonna pick Bristol at like a point that it's not hockey conditions for, so.
Bristol in August for hockey.
It's gonna be a bad idea, is all I'm saying.
I feel like playing hockey on the bridges in the Panhandle would have been some pretty cool things to do since, you know, they were still iced over. They iced over before I went to Daytona on Tuesday, before I went to Daytona, and on Monday, when I was coming back, they were still iced over.
Okay, Florida's not built for it. We don't know how to recover.
Like, there were literally still sections of road closed on Monday after Daytona from this blizzard.
Yeah.
So I'm saying they could do hockey in Florida. They have just picked the wrong part of Florida.
Same thing with hurricanes, too. It takes months to figure out how to make a street not flooded, so who knows? But just to continue on with NASCAR, we had, the race of the corn, Iowa. We're William Byron fans on this podcast, so
yes,
I felt as though we did have to talk about the finish of that race and how they really, really wanted us all to believe that William Byron was not going to make it to the end. He did make it to the end, so it was fine.
And he, had more fuel left at the end. It's not like he Alexander Rossi'd across the finish.
No.
He had fuel.
I was getting
Scott Dixon that day.
I was getting so nervous because I'm like, they're talking about how he's not going to have enough fuel, and then he has enough fuel to do like a burnout and everything. So, though I will say for this race, NASCAR is continuing its string of chaotic races with just cars spinning, cautions out of the wazoo.
It's Iowa. Did we expect anything different?
No, but I'm just saying NASCAR really is taking the chaotic bus for everyone.
Yes.
It's probably the universe's way of balancing out, like looking at taking a global perspective, and you see a lot of dull stuff in other categories, and then NASCAR is just like, yes, I'm gonna be the chaotic one this year, so you're gonna have to put up with me.
And then I've got my own spotter stand topic, which I teased on both my and our Instagrams. I've got my last year's front row of Le Mans cars, which everybody who's listened should know what these mean. Mostly that Kevin Esther doesn't understand track limits. Sorry, Kevin, in case you're listening, but you didn't on that lap. Good job on Hyperpole, I guess, but yeah, track limits.
She's still upset about it, y'all.
Yes, my nice. Well, he didn't get a chance to not do track limits this year. Again, sorry, Kevin. So
Nick, don't remind us. Don't remind us.
Here are my wonderful 2024 Le Mans front row podcast props. PPM, I am sorry. You know I like you guys. Look, I have this really cute tiny 6. Isn't it adorable? I have a whole bunch of PPM hats over here, just in case you guys were, like, concerned that maybe I'm not a huge fan or anything. Got a Kevin hat, too. But yes, had to bring that up because the opportunity presented itself to, in fact, get this finally, because it was stupid expensive because it's a Spark model and they're stupid expensive. The PPM one's a Virago, so it's a lot more affordable. I do actually have like 2 PPM Spark models on pre-order, so yeah, I think my collection of white finned 963s by the end of this year is going to be up to like 7. Because I have 3 of them at work.
Very PPM coded. Very IMSA coded.
That is extremely IMSA coded. But yes, sorry, Kevin.
How are we getting the 5 into there? We've got the 6, we've got the 7. How's the 5 get incorporated?
We're not getting the 5 into there.
How's
Why
the
would we
4 get incorporated?
We're not getting the 4 into there either. Does Kevin drive either of those? No.
Okay. I think that's a good place to wrap it up.
Sure.
So, thanks for listening. You can find us on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram at Orange Flag Pod. On Twitter, Nicole is at Nicole on Racing, Austin is at Hendrick Claren, and Aries is at Aries_Alpenglow.
Stay orange.